Geometry checkpoint 3. Linear equations from multiple representations. Linear equations are written in the form y equals mx plus b. The slope, or rate of change, is represented by m, and the y-intercept, or the starting value, is represented by the point b. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0 and are equations in the form of y equals k. Vertical lines have undefined slope and are equations in the form of x equals h. In geometry, we've talked a lot about parallel and perpendicular lines. Remember that parallel lines never intersect and their slopes are the same. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals and intersect at right angles. So, for example number 1, find the equation of the line passing through the points -2, 4 and 4, 7. What is the slope of any line perpendicular to this line? So let's start off by graphing our points. So we have -2, 4. So if I start here at the center, or my origin, 0, 0. -2 means I'm going to go left, 1, 2, and then a +4 means I'm going to go up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a point right there. Now for the point 4, 7, you're again going to start at your origin of 0, 0. You're going to go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm then going to draw a straight line, connecting one point to the other. So now we need to figure out, basically, how do I get from this point to this point? So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, you go up 3 and over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my slope, or my m, is going to be up 3 and then over 6, which reduces to 1/2. Some of your algebra teachers may have had you use the rate of change of y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And for that, I always liked to label my points x1, y1, x2, y2. So we'd have, for my slope, 4 minus 7 over -2 minus 4. 4 minus 7 is -3. -2 minus 4 is -6. The negatives cancel, and again, you're left with 1/2. Obviously, both ways give you the same answer. Personally, I like the idea of graphing. I think it relates nicely to geometry, and I think it's a lot faster in general to just go, oh, I'm going up 3 and over 6. But obviously, if you wanted to do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, that also works. Now we're just going to erase this so we can get back to the problem at hand. So we're going to use the general form equation y equals mx plus b. We've already established that +1/2, is going to be my slope. So now we need to use find our b. You can use either point that you're given. In this instance, I'm going to use my second point because it has only positive numbers, and when possible, I like to stick with positive numbers. So I'm going to plug 4 in for x, and I'm going to plug 7 in for y, and then we're going to solve for b. So I have 7 for y equals 1/2, which was my m, times my x value of 4 plus b. And again, we're just getting these from what we were given in the original equation. So we've got 7 for y and 4 for x, and then we've got 1/2 over here for m. All right, so now we need to start solving. 1/2 times 4 is going to give me 2. So I'm just going to bring everything else down. And then subtract 2 from both sides, leaving me with b equals 5. So now to write my equation, I'm again just going to take 5, and we're going to substitute it back into the original equation. So I have the equation y equals 1/2x plus 5. Now I'm sure you're well aware at this point that we still want to go back and make sure our points are correct and make sure we did everything perfectly, because you can always make a mistake. So we had the points negative 2, 4, and the points 4, 7. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of this. So hopefully you got it down already. So we have y equals 1/2 x plus 5. So we're going to take both of these points, plug them in, see if they work. So for this first one, I've got negative 2 and 4. So I've got 4 equals 1/2 times negative 2 plus 5. 1/2 times negative 2 is going to be a negative 1. Negative 1 plus 5 gives me 4. So it works for the first one. For the second one, I've got 7 equals 1/2 times 4 plus 5. 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So it works for the second one. So I've got the right answer. Now, for the second part of the equation, so it said find the equation of the line passing through the point negative 2, 4, and 4, 7. We've got that right here. Y equals 1/2 x plus 5. What is the slope of any line perpendicular to this line? So hopefully you were listening when I said earlier, perpendicular lines form right angles. They intersect to create right angles. And their slopes are going to be opposite reciprocals. Now I get a lot of questions in class about students saying, well, what's an opposite, what's a reciprocal? And the opposite part is a lot easier than the reciprocal part. Opposite just means opposite. So for this one, I've got a positive 1/2, and the opposite of a positive is a negative. If my slope had been negative 2, for example, then my opposite would be a positive. Reciprocal just means flip. So here I've got 1/2, so I'm going to flip so it becomes 2 over 1. When you have a number like 4 here, it's the same as 4 over 1. So when I flip it, it will become 1/4. So my slope for a perpendicular line, we started with 1/2. So my slope was a positive 1 over 2. So for the perpendicular line, it was positive, so now it's going to become negative. And then 1 over 2 is going to flip to become 2 over 1. Hopefully we all know 2 divided by 1 just gives me negative 2. All right, so let's look at another example. Since I believe, yep, that's everything we had to do in that row. The cost to rent a jet ski on Evantown Lake is $30 plus $7.50 per hour. Write an equation that represents, oops, forgot the, we'll just cross that out, represents the cost for various rental hours. Be sure to define your variables. So, we're going to say my cost is going to be C, and my hours is going to be H. And I'm sure no one can figure out how I got those letters. So my cost. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is how much is it going to cost no matter what? And whether I rent it for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 100 hours. I have to pay $30 to start. So I've got $30 here. Plus, I have to pay additionally for every hour I have it out. So this is our slope, or our rate of change. So we're just going to have 750 times H. Since they didn't give us any questions about how long it would cost for 5 hours or 10 hours, we're actually done right now. So just remember, it's going to be however much your starting point is, which is 50 in this case, and then plus however much it is going to be for every unit. All right, so that was a nice, easy one. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at mbrener@d131.org. Thank you.